Today we will be discussing about Microsoft Office version 2007, in which basically it is a package in which we can find out sub number of tools. The number of tools which are looking like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Publisher, OneNote, etc. But out of which the three major tools which are used from Microsoft Office for day-to-day life office purpose. One is Word, second is Excel, then third is PowerPoint. The Word which is used to make the documentation, Excel is used to make the calculation part and to make the spreadsheets, and PowerPoint which will be used to make the presentations. Then first we will be checking that and seeing that what is a Word and what are the features of Word and how to maintain the documentation, what kind of features which are available to make the documentation with effectively. So today the MS Office Word documentation, the version which we are now seeing in 2007. As we have number of versions in MS Office, Microsoft Office, and the current version of MS Office is 2013, and we are now checking only the 2007 features, and by where we can go through with that. So this is what the basic Word documentation symbol. This symbol is going to be seen on the screen here. This gives you your opening a Word documentation. Once if I select this particular Word documentation, then you will be opened a particular document window. Microsoft Word is basically a processing software package which will be used to maintain the documentation, wherein you can type the letters, or wherein you can type the digits, or where you type the symbols, or where you type the special symbols, and etc. So this is basically used for maintaining the documentation, where we are checking that only the 2007 version. And how to open this particular Microsoft Office Word package. To start with, I need to go select the Start, All Programs, Microsoft Office, then in which you can find out the last tab of Microsoft Office is Word, MS Word 2007. So when you are selecting of that particular one, it will display as if the window is being consisting with this particular thing. I can say that a Word, when I open here, the name of the document first it will be displayed as document 1, and which is going to be called as Microsoft Word documentation. Then these are the features of MS Office Word window, in which where we can see number of tools, number of buttons, number of commands. Then we have certainly the body of the documentation where you are going to be typing, and where you can see with the other thing. So let us see what are the features which are there in the MS Office Word. The Office Word which is going to be checking that the first command is called as the Office button. The Office button which is going to be given here as this one. So when I open this particular Office button, it will be checking that what is the documentation and what is the property and etc. can be seen here. Then second feature where you can see as ribbon, and this ribbon is consisting with some kind of tools and toolbars, and how exactly you are opening those particular toolbars, and what are the shortcuts which are available for the toolbars. These are available in the ribbon. So this is the entirely thing called as a ribbon. Then you can see the tab selector, and the tab selector which is going to be opening for the button, and in which you can see how the tabs are going to be given and what space is going to be given for the documentation part. That will be taken care by the third part. Coming to the fourth, where the feature which is available to make use of the rule bars, or I can say that the horizontal scroll bar and a vertical ruler which is going to be given you, that is given you here to set the margins of the documentation. The margins of the documentation will be setting for the left, right, top, bottom, subsequently with the help of horizontal ruler and vertical ruler. That is leading to the fourth point. Now coming to the fifth point which is leading to the documentation part, in which where the body of the letter or the body of the document or the information which you are going to be typed here. Then sixth is status bar, on which where you will come to know that what is the status of the documentation here. The documentation is in first page or second page or fourth page, or the cursor is available in the 6th column or 10th column or 15th column or whatever it may be that. So that will be coming to know here. Then seventh part is a taskbar. The taskbar is leading to how many number of windows which are opened from the Windows operating system. So this is just beside the start button, where you can see that the number of opened applications can be seen here. If you are opened a particular folder, and that folder is going to be resided here, and if you are opened a particular documentation, and that documentation part is going to be stay here. So therefore the taskbar is going to be explaining here as how many number of a task which you are opened in the form of windows, because everything is being treated as a window here. Whatever you are going to be opened, this particular MS Word or folder or anything, any application under Windows platform, which is called as a Windows application. How many number of tasks which are going to be completed or which are opened here, that can be seen here in the form of these particular things. Then the next one is going to be seen here that what are the shortcut bars or what are the shortcut applications which are available in this. So that can be seen here in the 8th point. To view those particular shortcut menus, and if you are opening up that, then you can see the number of shortcut menus which are available to run very shortly without opening the start button and applications and etc. Then come back to the next feature. Here we have is a zoom slide. That means I can go with the viewing of a particular percentage of the documentation is magnified. That means I can say the percentage of the viewing of a document is increased or decreased. I can call it as a scaling up and a scaling down. So by default the documentation can be viewed in 100%. If at all, if you want to reduce for 75% of the documentation, where you can see and you can reduce, and if I want to go with 120%, then you can increase the percent. So that is done easily with the help of a zooming slide. The next case is view ruler button. So the ruler button, or I can say that how much of the percentage of the data documentation which you are seeing here. So I may be making use of this particular one. Either I do go with the viewer button. Ruler button can be seen here, whether it is moving towards right side or left side. Rightwise I can see the ruler button. Then the next is screen split button. If I want to just go with this particular 11th feature, I can just split the screen into two parts, where you are starting from the next page onwards. That means I can type the next information from the next page onwards. For example, I have been typed for 3 to 4 lines in this particular document, page 1. So I want to split that particular page, or else if I have certain information where I want to make it that particular page into two parts, so you can make that splitting is done. That means if I want to go for a new page, then I can make it out. If you have already an existing image or existing information on this document, then you can make it out with the two splittings here. So by which I can start with the first document for the first page and second document for the second page. Then you can see the next feature is called scroll bar. This scroll bar will be used here to make the screen upside and downside, or left side or right side. The scroll bars like which are using like of the rulers, horizontal ruler and vertical ruler. So likewise the scroll bars are also being available with the horizontal and as well as vertical. This is called as horizontal and this is called as vertical scroll bar. Then the next is right indent, and right indent is going to be given here as the maximum documentation which is going to be given here. and by which where when it is being leading to that particular position, automatically the information whatever you are typing, that will come to the next line. So that right indent is automatically setting by using of the margins here, or else I may be using for some number of a scaling point, and that scaling point would be done in a centimeter scale. Then you can make as a group here for the next option, and you can have even the quick launch bar dialog box, and that can be used for launching of a dialog box for whatever you want to have, any kind of the help boxes and etc. can be done. The next is title bar. In the title bar, it will be opened with the document 1 initially. When I open the second document, you can see the document name as a document 2 and etc. So until unless if it is given the special name on this particular document, then it will be named as only the document with followed by a number. So if you specify a particular document name, then that is going to be renamed with whatever you are typing the name of the document. Then the next feature, which is called as a quick access toolbar. This quick access toolbar can be as if whatever we are doing with the shortcut menus, and this is related to the Word document, and wherein you can make use of the opening a file and opening the particular command. Instead of directly I can open that particular toolbar, or a button can be selected to make use of the action is completed. Then the next is a tab. Tab is nothing but what are the different menu items which are available in this particular case. The tab name is a file, the tab name is edit, the tab name is page layout, and etc. can be seen here in the form of a menu bar. So these are all the different features of MS Word window by which where we can make use of these particular. So these are the whatever we have seen in the document part, and that are being seen in only the form of command menus. Right, the first command, first feature, which is nothing but office button. When I select this particular office button, I may be able to create a new file, or I can open the existing file, or I may be saving of a particular file, or I can perform any of the other tasks which are related to a particular file. So a file can be opened, a file can be manipulated, a file can be closed, or a file can be saved, or file can be taken as a print, and etc., which are available for this particular button. If I select that, then I may be able to see that opening a new file, or opening an existing file, or you can save the file, or you can make a copy of that particular file to the somewhere else in the target file. You can also take the print, you can also say take the close of this particular file. So these are the number of options which are available in this particular button here. The next button is a quick access toolbar. This is related to a save button. So instead of going for selecting a tab called file, and in which where you are going to be selecting a save button, instead of that, if I just select this particular one, whatever you have typed that particular command or the information which you are there in the documentation window will be saved automatically. So this this particular button is used as a redo or undo button, and this button is called redo button. Undo button is used to have wherein whatever the action which is done so far, that is not being required, if I assume, so that I may be selecting of this particular button. So this is called as undo. So whatever the earlier version, that is going to be displayed here. So this is called as a redo, and the redo button is going to be used here for whatever I have been typed so far, and I want to get back that particular information. So that is called as a redo. So you can roll back and you can roll up. That is possible to these particular one. Then you can make use of the customization, and this customization is happened with the help of this particular button, and how many number of tools which you want to place in this particular quick tool box or quick access toolbar. So that can be placed just by using of this particular button. If I open this particular button, you will be given a list of items that are being required. So if I want to place a print button, that can be placed by selecting of this particular button is opened and a print can be selected, and that is being added here as a print button. So that initially it is being with 1, 2, 3 buttons, and now it becomes 4 buttons in the quick access toolbar. So this is possible. So whatever you want, you can make it out with the things can be included or the things can be excluded here. So that is why where we can call it as customization. Then a title bar, as I said already, the title is going to be displayed about the Microsoft document in which where you are working currently. So if I just not give any particular file name, and by default the document one will be opened. If I subsequently open the number of other documents, so that the document 2, document 3, document 4 and so on, it will be given that. Until unless if you specify a particular name, let us say that this is called as a file name .doc. So DOC is an extension of the documentation. So word extension is going to be given here as .doc. If the version is 2007, it would be .doc, and if the version is 2013, then it could be extended to .docx. .docx is going to be given as the extension of the Word document. So doc and docx is the same, but it is going to be related to your XML version, so in which where you can even transform the application of the transform the Word document along with the XML versions. So we must specify that the document name to recognize that that is a unique name. So that is called as a title bar. The title bar which will be applied in the center of the documentation. Then the ribbon is going to be considered with many number of tabs, and what is the number of other commands, and how many number of fonts which are there, or how many number of paragraphs where you can see, and what type of command buttons where you can see here. So that is being embedded in the case of these ribbon. Ribbon is basically consisting with the number of fonts or the number of tabs, and these tabs are being selected, then concerned a number of commands will be given in that. So if I selected by default, here I have selected home, and when I have selected home, then these are the number of commands and the number of other buttons have been displayed here. Similarly, if I select the other tab, then the concerned tab buttons are going to be displayed here. So this is called as a ribbon here. Then the ruler, here we have been given the ruler. This is called as a horizontal ruler, and you can also find out vertical ruler. But this ruler is being there along with the ribbon, so that I can see what is the starting point of a documentation for the left margin and what is the ending point of a documentation for the right margin. So this gives you that you will be starting your documentation from the first column of the first row, and moreover there are no tabbing spaces. When I make use of the tabbing spaces, where the tab is going to be done between one point to the other point on the scale, that means tab is going to be leading to some empty spaces. Then right side is going to be given that this is what the right indent. Whenever it is being occurred to make use of that, then simply automatically the moment when you are typing for the information, then it will be coming to the next line. The information whatever you are choosing here, and that would be coming in the next line. To check the next ruler, or I say that I can make use of the hide and show is a group, and which is available in the ribbon, by which where I can make use of any particular document can be seen and can be formatted very easily. Yeah, this is what the text area wherein you are going to be typing the entire information whatever you are going to be required here. So by which where I can type anything and then I can make use of any particular value. So the horizontal scroll bar is being given here, and the vertical scroll bar is being given here. So by which where I can make use of the a large text area, so automatically the vertical scroll bar is initiated. And when I select for the maximum space or the maximum the ruler which is there, and by which where I can enter the information, if I can extend that particular ruler so that the horizontal bar or horizontal scroll bar is initiated. So where a horizontal scroll bar which is